Hi, my name's Daniel Reinganum, and I'm a bankruptcy lawyer at McDowell Law in Maple Shade. Today I want to talk to you about relief for homeowners and their mortgage payments under the CARES Act. I don't really think it's all that great, but maybe it's okay. I'll let you make up your mind, but stick around and we'll go through it. Daniel Reinganum, and I'm a bankruptcy lawyer at McDowell Law in Maple Shade, New Jersey. One of the most common questions that I'm getting now from my clients is, what can I do about my mortgage payments in light of the COVID-19 emergency? What kind of help is there for me in the new bill that Congress passed? So we're going to talk about that a little bit. I think the relief is pretty limited. I'm not a huge fan of it, but let's go through it. So first, the CARES Act provides that a holder of a federally insured mortgage, which is about 2/3 of the mortgages out there, must give a homeowner a forbearance if the homeowner contacts the mortgage company and advises them that they are having a COVID-19 related hardship and requests a forbearance. So the good news about this request is it can be made over the phone. It doesn't have to be in writing. And in terms of magic words, the only magic words that the borrower has to say is, I'm experiencing a financial hardship due to the COVID-19 emergency and I'm requesting a forbearance. And the law says that at that point, the mortgage company has to give the forbearance. And the mortgage company isn't allowed to ask for any supporting documentation or to require anything additional from the homeowner in order to grant that forbearance. And granting the forbearance is not optional, it's mandatory. But again, this only applies to the federally insured or federally backed mortgages. So there's about 1/3 of mortgages out there that none of this applies to. So what is a forbearance? A forbearance is simply an agreement between the borrower and the lender that the lender will, for a period of time, either 3 months, 6 months, or perhaps even as long as a year, the lender will stop trying to collect the payments due from the borrower. During that time period, they're not going to call you and say you're behind on your mortgage, why aren't you making your payments? And they're not going to assess a late fee. In addition, they're going to stop or at least temporarily pause all of their other collection efforts. So if there's a foreclosure process that's going on, that generally would be put on pause during the period of forbearance. However, a forbearance is not a good long-term solution. And here's why. Let's say that a homeowner is granted a 6-month forbearance by their lender. So for 6 months, the homeowner is not making their mortgage payments, and they're not getting bothered, and they're not getting charged late fees. However, in the 7th month, the mortgage company says, okay, you need to pay us the regular monthly mortgage payment for month 7, as well as all of the mortgage payments that you owe us for months 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And in my experience, people who don't have the ability to pay their mortgage in month 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 are not magically going to have all this money appear suddenly that will let them get back on track with their mortgage. So forbearances make me very nervous because at the end of the forbearance period, all the money's owed. And that is not great. That's setting people up to be behind in their mortgages. So where I think Congress really screwed up with this is that they chose to use the mechanism of a forbearance. It would have been much better if Congress had agreed that the payments would be deferred, which means added to the back end of the mortgage. So if the mortgage matures in 20 years and there's a 6-month deferral, then either the mortgage is extended for 6 months at the end of the mortgage, or there's a balloon payment at the very end of the mortgage equal to 6 months of mortgage payments. And that would be a deferment. And that would actually be helpful to people because it would allow them, say, a 6-month period of time to weather the coronavirus emergency without having to make their mortgage payments. And then in the 7th month to resume making a regular monthly mortgage payment. That's the kind of relief I think Congress should have granted. I think that these forbearances are not very helpful at all. So, and I see this happening a lot in the next 6 to 12 months, is if someone has requested and been granted a forbearance and the forbearance period is over, now you're going to find yourself in a situation where you can't make up all the past due payments and the mortgage company says, hey, we want our 7 months worth of mortgage payments, your 6 months of forbearance and the one that's due today. For people that find themselves in that situation, you don't have to lose hope though, because there are options under a Chapter 13 bankruptcy case, which would allow you to repay the past due amounts over a period of 3 to 5 years. So even if you get yourself in this sort of hole due to the forbearance, we can help you to dig out of it. All right, but let's say you know about the dangers and the pitfalls of using the forbearance, but you still just need it. How should you do that? Well, you can call your mortgage company and verbally request a forbearance by saying the magic words that you are experiencing a financial hardship due to the COVID-19 emergency and you are requesting a forbearance. With that, you should get a forbearance. However, I have been told by Servicers Council that right now, phone wait times are ridiculous. 6, 8, 10 hours on hold before talking to someone. So many of the servicers have indicated that they are setting up internet-based portals where you can submit a request for a forbearance. And I would encourage you to look at your lender's website and see if they have such a thing. And if they don't, a letter is good, an email is good, a fax is good. My hunch is that it would be better, 1, to have written evidence of your request, and 2, who wants to wait on hold for 10 minutes? Wells Fargo's hold music ain't that good. Thanks so much for listening to this video. If you or anyone you know is having difficulty paying their mortgage or dealing with their bills during this coronavirus emergency, or just because of life in general, please give us a call at 856-482-5544. That's 856-482-5544. We'd be very happy to meet with them on the telephone or through a Zoom video conference or a FaceTime conference, whatever is most convenient for them. All right, till next time, this is Daniel Reinganum from McDowell Law. Stick around because I'm going to have some videos about Chapter 13 bankruptcy coming out in the next few days. See you next time.